Hello, friends. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am very excited for this video because we are doing something a little bit different. I am making this cozy little village in Tiny Glade. I just started playing Tiny Glade and it is one of the most adorable and relaxing games I have ever played, and I've been obsessed with it for the past couple days. I've been on the hunt to find some cozy games recently that I can just play and relax and that I don't have to have any real commitment to. So I can just hop on and play for like 10 minutes or so and don't need to worry about doing any tasks, goals, quests, or anything like that. Sometimes I'm in the mood for the monotony of grinding dailies, but sometimes that sounds a bit like a nightmare. But Tiny Glade is basically the perfect game for that, since all it is just a sandbox building game. There is no objective, no rules, and no points or money. You simply just build whatever you want, and I can't believe it's taken me this long to play it. I played around with the free demo when it first released last year, but the full game wasn't out yet, and unfortunately it's just one of those things that got lost in the sea of all my other games. And then only just now I was reminded of this game while, as I said, I was looking for some cozy games to play that were different from the usual Stardew Valley farming sim, which I tend not to enjoy so much. And after watching a few videos of the full game of Tiny Glade, I decided that I had to buy the full game, and I am so glad that I did. You probably already know that I really love building in The Sims, and while this is very different from that, it still scratches that building itch, but with a lot more freedom and a super cute atmosphere. Everything is just so perfect. The art style is exactly the kind of cutesy visuals and color palette that I adore, and the game has such great sound design too. If you've never heard how this game sounds before, a lot of people say it's like ASMR. And while I don't personally like ASMR, the sound of building stuff is very satisfying. I will say though, the only kind of ASMR type stuff I enjoy are those aesthetic keyboard videos with the thocky or creamy sounding key switches, which actually convinced me to buy a new keyboard and customize it, and I am beyond thrilled with how it turned out. If you know anything about keyboards, I got the ACO V3 Creamy Purple Pro switches, which I absolutely love. And I'm sure some of you are glad that I changed out my loud keyboard, because I know that I would get annoyed when my mic would pick up the clacking. But now, if you hear anything, it'll sound like this, compared to my old keyboard, which sounded like this, which I think is so much better, and I hope that you do too. So this little village is my first time actually building something in the full version of the game, so I had a lot of fun experimenting with the new build tools that aren't in the demo. I didn't make anything too detailed or intricate. I'm still just trying to learn my way around the controls and building features, but I still think the little village turned out so cute. I actually don't think it's possible to make something that doesn't look adorable in this game, which makes it extremely beginner friendly. But there are so many creative ways to use the seemingly limited options. The things that people have been able to create are mind-boggling, seriously. I think the most difficult thing I built in this build was the dock, but even then it wasn't difficult. It just took a bit of patience. But other than the very intuitive building and the adorable art style, I really love that there aren't too many tools that clutter up the screen. I feel like the UI of a game is one of those things that is such a hit or miss for me, because when the UI of a game is cluttered, it can often feel really overwhelming. For example, most MMOs. If you've ever played games like Guild Wars 2, you know exactly what I'm talking about. it can really just put me off of a game altogether. So the simplicity of the UI in this game is really appreciated. For example, having all of the decor items tucked away behind a single button that expands when you click on it, rather than having everything just out and open on the screen. That might kind of seem like a no-brainer, but I've played games for sure that just really don't take into consideration the UI of their game. With all of that being said, the UI in Tiny Glade really just solidifies that cozy appeal of the game and tells you that the game devs, who I believe are just 2 people, really thought about every part of this game. I don't know why this is sounding like an ad. It's not, I swear. I just really like this game. I think the art style also kind of reminds me of Paralives, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so drawn to it. I need more cozy games in my life with this bright pastel painterly art style. It just makes me so happy. Controversial opinion, I am tired of the 8-bit and 16-bit art style of most of the cozy games. I know it can be pretty cute and nostalgic looking, but it's not for me personally. As well as the harsh outline cartoony look of like Fortnite and Disney Dreamlight Valley. That always looks just so stiff and Play-Doh-y. I'm not super into that either. Oh, I've also decided to upload a version of this build and all of the future Tiny Glade builds on a playlist where it's just the gameplay with the in-game sound and music, no talking and not sped up or anything. It's about 2 hours long if you want to go watch it while you sleep or something. And if you want me to do that with any other games where it's just the gameplay, no talking, editing, or anything, let me know, because I think that would be really cool. So the reason I've decided to post this video is because I feel like I've been a little bit too hyper-focused on The Sims for a while now. And don't get me wrong, it's been great having fun in a game that I really do love. But I feel like I want to start branching out a bit more in the games that I play, not just for videos, but on my own as well. So along with more Tiny Glade videos on the channel, there are some other games that I already have and love, but I have been taking a long break from because I've been playing so much of The Sims 4. I plan on making some videos of Tiny Glade, of course, and then also some Cozy Grove, maybe some Ooblets or Planet Zoo, and maybe some Sky Children of the Light, which I've had a bit of a falling out with, but I think I'm ready to get back into it. And I think it would be really fun to take you with me while I do some dailies and candle runs. I think that would really help it feel not so grindy. And I know I've also floated the idea of playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and Baldur's Gate 3 on my channel as well, but even though those are cozy games for me personally, they're probably a bit more mature than I would want to have on my channel, because I just want to post really cozy games that everybody can enjoy. But if you have any other cozy game recommendations, I would love to hear them. So at this point in the build, we have the bridge crossing the little stream, we have the main village part and the town well covered, and then a watchtower by the bridge. And now I'm building this kind of big manor house surrounded by a really cute brick wall. And my thought for this was that this is the mayor's house, so it's kind of big and grand, but still quite quaint because it is just a little tiny village. I still honestly can't get over how adorable this game is. Honestly, sometimes I even just open up the game to one of my builds and then just sit it on my second monitor as like an atmospheric video or something just to put on in the background, because it has such cute little animations and stuff too. And for building, I have the time paused. However, you can change the time of day and the time of day will cycle if you unlock it. So it really does make the game feel very alive, and there will be like birds chirping and butterflies during the day, and then in the evening there's like fireflies and everything. It's just so cozy and cute. And after building this village, I had the idea to build like a whimsical little cottagecore, witchcore cottage in just a meadow, and you can select different environments. So you can have winter environments. This one is flowery, if you couldn't tell, which is kind of like spring. There's flowers everywhere. The trees have a kind of pink hue to them. And there's also fall, and I don't know, just I want to build a little fall cottage so badly. I think it would just be so cute and cozy, especially to put on in the background while I read and drink my coffees in the morning or something. There is just so many things you can do in this game, and I love it so much. Another thing that I'm building now is this little farmhouse, and I give it this like fenced in field. I initially was gonna try to do a pumpkin patch looking field like I've seen a bunch of people do. However, I ended up going for a lavender field with the flower tools. So maybe they're a lavender farmer. I just feel like that is so whimsical, and it kind of reminded me of Stoneville from Infinity Nikki, which is the city that's main export is lavender and like lavender dye and everything like that. So there's just a mass of lavender fields all around the town. It's so pretty. I do hope that we get more variety of different flowers in Tiny Glade though. Even though I love the lavender, it's so pretty. Or maybe even if we could just pick different colors for the flower tool or something. But I think the main thing that I would want added into the game is a copy and paste tool. I also think that this might be a controversial opinion, but I would love to be able to add in people. I've seen a lot of people disagree with this, saying that people would ruin the relaxing atmosphere, but I think if I am to build like a bustling city or something, I would love the option to place people and have them walk around kind of like the sheep that are already there, except placed by me, so that if you don't want people, you don't have to have them, and you could kind of decide how many people you want. But honestly, this game is just so good how it is already, and I'm very excited to see what the devs are going to be working on next. Currently, they are making stairs in the game, so instead of having to place individual building blocks to make stairs, now there's a stair tool, which I haven't tried yet. It is in the beta version, which I have just switched over to in Steam, and I'm really looking forward to trying that out. And there's also a bunch of other stuff, but that's just the main thing in the new beta version. But along with that cozy witch cottage that I want to make, I also have a bunch of other plans for things to make in Tiny Glade for videos that I'm very excited to try out, as well as just general building and playing around whenever I feel the need to build. Like this village, it's really nice to just make it up as you're going along with no plans or anything, and it's super relaxing to do while watching a movie or something and just letting your mind completely relax and just forget what you're doing, and then you have such a cute little product at the end of that. Like, this game truly can just be a shut off your brain for a second kind of game, and I really love that. While yes, you can build like these intricate buildings and problem solve to create really impressive builds and structures, or you can do what I did with this village, and it's just building whatever pops into your mind with no planning or foresight. But I feel like I probably talked your ear off enough about Tiny Glade. Honestly, like, I don't know why I talked so in depth about this game, but I just really like it. I'm not trying to like sell it to you or anything. If you like it, buy it. If you don't, don't. But I want to move on to talking about something else. So if you've been keeping up with any of my other videos, you'll know that I recently just posted a video of Bob and Eliza in my Sims 4 Forever save, and they recently just got pregnant, so they are expecting a baby, which is so exciting. I'm so happy for them. However, one downside that I have discovered while playing in a forever save, which if you don't know, that's basically like a save file that you use for all of your households. So you don't create any more save files and you just play within this one save file with all of your Sims, so they can kind of have intertwining stories, and it's really fun and makes the game feel so much more alive. However, like I was saying, one downside is that when your Sims are pregnant, if you try to play a different household, then the pregnancy will continue without you, and they will give birth and probably have a really weird randomly generated name. So there are ways to pause this. You can pause it with MC Command Center, which is probably what I'm going to do, because I want to make a video with my fairy sim Catmint and play more with her in Innisgreen with the new fairy pack stuff. But because I talked so highly about having a forever save, I just want to let you guys know that that is something that can happen, so your families don't get messed up or anything. And I honestly never even thought of that as an issue, because I'm normally like a one household and a new fresh save kind of simmer. But yeah, I just have to remember to go in and pause the pregnancy. But also, if that's not an option for you, like if you're on console or something, you're not able to use mods, most people would say just to play through the pregnancy so you don't miss it, because obviously that's such a big aspect of your Sims' lives, and I'm sure you probably want to be there for your Sims' pregnancy and birth. Also, this little wizard tower that I'm building currently is a little sneak peek of something that I kind of am wanting to try building in Tiny Glade. And then I just make a little makeshift market stall kind of area. I don't know, I feel like for my first time building anything like this, it's okay. However, I would have probably preferred if I had gone in a bit more detailed. And then last but not least, I edit the river a little bit, making this kind of marshy area under the trees, which I think looks so cool. And then I add a beautiful little gazebo, as well as a rocky ruin kind of area across the river that you can kind of see through the trees when you're sitting on the gazebo, which you will see in a little bit. But I think it's so cool how just with building you can create lore like that. Like, who knows what that building was, who lived there, or how did it get destroyed? Maybe it burned down in a fire, who knows? But yes, I have officially run out of things to say, so I am going to end my voiceover here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you are new, consider subscribing so you don't miss my next video. I hope that you all have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye!